I'd like to welcome everybody to tonight's Sashabaw Road Corridor Improvement Authority special meeting. It is August 30th of 2021 at 5 p.m. If we could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. With that, I will turn it over to Chairman Roth to head up the meeting here.
Okay. Call a roll call.
Pat Kittle?
Yes.
Chip Robinson?
Yes.
Bob Roth?
Yes.
Dave Smith is absent. Judy Tully?
Here.
And Dale Verhey.
Here.
Richard Carlisle, sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
As other attendee, and Kim Fagley, our assessor.
And special guest Karen Joliet, County Commissioner.
Okay.
I forgot to officially call the meeting to order too. Or did
Yeah,
you
we
do
did that
Okay.
already.
Approval of agenda.
I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
Very good. So I guess we need the all those in favor thing going here.
Leanne, you want to call roll?
Sure. Pat Kittle?
Yes.
Chip Robinson?
Yes.
Bob Roth?
Yes.
Dave Smith is absent. Judy Tully?
Yes.
And Dale Verhey.
Yes.
Thank you. Request to approve the regular minutes of October 22nd, 2020.
I would make a motion to approve the Sashabaw Road Corridor Improvement Authority regular minutes of October 22, 2020 as presented.
Do we have a second?
I'll second Dale.
Lana, you want to make the call?
Sure. Pat Kittle?
Yes.
Chip Robinson?
Yes.
Bob Roth?
Yes.
Judy Tully?
Yes.
Dale Verhey.
Yes.
Okay, notice of the CIA public informational meetings.
So I guess just to tee this up a little bit, in accordance with Section 910 of Public Act 57 of 2018, the Charter Township of Independence is required to hold 2 public informational meetings regarding the activities of the Sashabaw Corridor Improvement Authority. The purpose of these meetings is to inform the public of the goals, direction, and activities of the authority. The township is required to give notice to each taxing jurisdiction levying taxes that are subject to capture. Thank you for attending, ma'am. The attached notice was posted August 23rd, 2021 as attached. So I don't think we really have to do anything for this, do we, Leanna?
No, it's just for informational purposes. We're not having any regular meetings unless we need to. We'll have a special meeting, but these are the 2 required public informational meetings.
Mr. Supervisor,
Yes, sir.
if indeed there is, we do have an item at the end for public comment, and that would be the time that if any member of the public or any member of any taxing jurisdiction would like to comment or ask questions or provide input, that would satisfy the requirements of the act. And of course, you know, we do this anyway, but we are required, you know, to have at least 2 formal public informational meetings, which this constitutes one of them. And then we'll have the second one before the Township Board in December, as we have been doing for the last 2 years.
Very good, sir. Thank you, Dick.
Okay. Request to approve the 2020 Corridor Improvement Authority Annual Report. Mr. Carlisle?
Yes, you have the report before you. It's dated June 7th. We really actually go over and above the requirements of the law by what we do, and this really stemmed out of our agreement with Oakland County several years ago when we really started doing a more formal annual report before it was even required by the state. So this format of this report is consistent with every report that we've done since 2007. And it really outlines the activities that the activities of the Corridor Authority, where we stand in terms of financing and budget, regarding the total tax capture, what we're spending the money on, where we stand with our capital improvement bond debt retirement, where we stand with the fund balance, how we budget for the future. I think you have seen this report before, and I will get a little bit more into our financial status under item 5, but I will just conclude this by saying that we are in excellent shape, and I'll provide you more information under the status update in item 5 on the agenda. What we do, we have also filed the report with the Michigan Department of Finance, which we are now required to do under the new act, in the format that is required by finance, and that report was filed, I believe, in June. So in conjunction with this report, we will also inform other tax increment partners that report has been filed, and we will provide them with copies if they wish to have them, or we'll just provide them with copies anyway. But that's generally what we've been doing. So we do a little overkill in terms of informing our tax increment financing partners about how we try to keep them informed.
Hey, there's
That's
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
There it is.
Any comments or questions for Dick?
I did not have any. Anybody
Okay.
have any questions?
If I could have a motion, please. Oh,
I'll
I'm
make
sorry,
a
that's-
motion to approve
That's
it.
your
If we
stuff.
could have a motion, please.
Chip just made a motion.
I think Chip just made
All
that
right.
motion.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll second.
All right, Mr. Smith, second.
Leanna, want to do the roll?
All right, Pat Kittle,
Yes.
Chip Robinson,
Yes.
Bob Ross,
Yes.
Dave Smith,
Yes.
Judy Tully,
Yes.
and Dale Verhey.
Yes.
Thank you. Status update of Walden Center Drive.
Yep. I know it's got my name on it. Mr. Carlisle has been working very closely with the developer in the township on the Walden Village project. As part of the township's contribution to that, we had agreed to do the improvements to the Walden Center intersection. That would include a traffic signal, pedestrian crossways, and improvements to Walden Center Drive on the south side. So the estimated cost of that is about $500,000. We have worked with the county, and they have agreed through their finance committee, TIF committee, and commission to co-fund that with us of the $500,000. I think it's about $155,000 will be covered under county TIF capture, with the balance being covered under the township TIF capture. So kind of good news for us. Dick, you want to add any color to this?
Well, we appreciate the cooperation of Oakland County by interpreting our agreement with them to allow this as a logical extension of the Walden Road widening project. We went through several meetings, and again, I really appreciate both staff and the county commissioner's help in this particular regard in terms of approving our ability to also capture the county TIF funds that we will be capturing up until we reach the threshold. I believe it's close to 1.3 million is what we are allowed to capture, and I think we are at about 40% of that, 40 or 45% of that. I see no problems with us, well, we obviously have to honor that agreement, and we will, but it is likely that we will, I'll get into this more detail, but it's likely that we're going to, with the revenues that are anticipated, that we'll probably meet our financial goals well before 2029.
And you'll get into more detail on that in the next update.
I will.
Comments or questions?
Nothing for me.
Not hearing any? We had a motion on this?
Nope, nothing needed. It was just an update.
Okay. Status update, the financial report, number 5, Mr. Carlisle.
Yeah, as part of this whole exercise, prior to going to the county, as well as justifying this to the township board, which we'll talk a little bit more again in the next item, I did a pretty deep dive into the status of our TIF projections and anticipated revenues moving forward. Last year, we began to see an uptick, and it has continued this year in terms of our TIF revenues. And in fact, as Assessor Fegley can probably tell you, we are ahead of where we thought we would be at this point in time in terms of captured revenues. I think that's a result of a couple of things. You know, we finally have gone through the entire wave of post recession tax tribunal challenges, as well as the uptick in economic activity that has resulted from that. And then the second part of this, as I will tell you in a minute, the future looks extremely bright because of the uptick in economic activity in the township. We've obviously are seeing, you know, the benefit of that and the benefit of the investment of the CIA in the corridor with the road improvements, where we've had a number of projects that have that started a little while ago and now are completing, and then we have some that are actually moving forward now as we speak that will contribute significant incremental tax value to the tax increment district that I think makes the picture look extremely optimistic. So with the fact that, you know, where we stand right now, we are ahead of our projections. We have a number of projects that will be reflected as time goes on here in our improved TIF capture. I've already confirmed with our township assessor that, you know, the Wellbridge project at the corner of Clarkston and Sashabaw is reflected in her latest projections for taxable value, as well as the MSU Credit Union. But we do have, you know, we're really sort of on a wave of 3 fairly large projects that will have a very positive impact on our tax increment revenues moving forward. First one, obviously, is the Comfort Inn that will have an estimated taxable value of $2 million. Its full value will not likely be reflected until next year on the rolls. The Kirko Senior Living Project, which is Mr. Smith's neighbor up on North Sashabaw Road, 73,000 square foot building with an estimated taxable value of $12 million. That will be fully on the tax roll probably by 2023. And then, of course, the Walden Village project that Mr. Kittle was referring to, which is right across the street, which will be done in 4 phases. And this is a pretty massive project with a taxable value of over $60 million. With that becoming fully developed probably by 2025. So as I've projected our taxable values moving forward, these 3 projects alone, without any other additional development, will be adding another close to $3.5 million in captured values for the CIA. That is in addition to, I think, be close to $4 million that we already, that's not correct, but the over $3 million that we've already projected. So the fact of the matter is that this almost doubles the amount of capture that we're anticipating by 2029. This does not include any other of the residual properties that still are out there to develop, that are still within the corridor. We still have a lot of vacant property. We have a fair amount of vacant property up around, Mr. Smith's property. We have a fair amount of vacant property down the Walden Center Drive. In fact, we have a two office building complex that is currently in site plan review. So what I'm saying is that the developmental values of the Sashabaw corridor, and specifically the TIF district, are finally reaching the levels that we had anticipated when we originally adopted the CIA and the tax finance district. Having said all that, this was really a preface to our request to go before the township board for an advance on the money that we will need for the Walden Center Drive signal, which we will discuss in the next item. But it was part of the justification that I felt that I needed to go through for our board, and frankly had done it prior to going before the County Board of Commissioners in anticipation that someone might ask that question. So I'm extremely optimistic about our financial picture in this regard. So be happy to answer any questions.
Dick, you did say $60 million in value for the Walden Village?
That's correct, over 60 million.
Okay, just as a 2-minute overview, can you let the CIA board know what is anticipated to go in over there across the street?
Sure, it's a mixed-use project consisting of boy, now you tax my memory after all the time that we spent on that. We have approximately 270, I believe, dwelling units, and a commercial component, about a 10-acre commercial component that will add another, I will say, approximately 100,000 square feet of commercial and retail space anchored by a large fresh market. So it's a sizable project. I think the question always is, and it's a fair question, is, well, what happens? I mean, is this project going to proceed or not? Well, as a matter of fact, we have received the construction plans for the first 2 phases of the project that account for approximately 180 dwelling units. So the first 2 phases are proceeding, and frankly, that alone will add sizable tax base, because remember, any new development, it starts from phase almost zero in terms of your tax increment finance capture. So it puts you in very good shape that you're going to be capturing sufficient revenues just from those first 2 phases to more than meet your obligations, both to the township in terms of the debt service on the existing bonds and any the borrowing of this money for future purposes. The reason, obviously, we have to borrow the money is that we don't keep a fund balance. We're not accumulating that. We're spending it as we go, but we're doing so in a very controlled fashion, and that's why. But I want to put everybody's mind at ease that I think there's plenty of optimism to be had just because of the existing projects we have in the works right now.
So I think it's 132 townhomes, about 50 single-family homes that would be located on Walters, approximately 75 condos that would be behind the commercial section, an international market, a couple of restaurants, a 6 or 7 acre park, I forget the dimension of it. So and then we're putting together plans to improve that green space in front of the township and turn that into a little pocket park with ADA compliant toys for young children. We'd like to do some kind of a statues. I don't know if you've ever seen them. Some of the Western communities have some of these little patriotic statues, like with kids around an American flag with holding. There's some artwork that you can get that's really cool looking. I'd love to see in the big flat area in the wintertime, you can get these ice skating rinks, with the refrigeration tubes in it, so you get good 3-4 months of ice. And then in the summertime, use that for social gatherings and all compliant with the corridor look and feel with the fencing and the posts. So I think it'll be kind of cool what's being kicked around and really could make this, I think, a destination. And as an aside from this project that isn't part of it, we're working to deal with the road commission to redo Walden and the Sashabaw intersection proper. We've widened it, but we haven't touched the core intersection piece because of the cost and how bad it would screw up the local traffic. Our CLC has come up with a solution. Chip, you'd probably appreciate this, to do a full replacement would tie that intersection up for 3 to 4 months. What they're proposing is milling 3 inches of concrete, replacing the seams, and then laying 3 inches of new asphalt on top of it. That can be done in about a week.
Oh, wow.
That'll last us 10 years. It's a $300,000 project. Our net cost for the township will be $100,000 that we're gonna use tri-party, so roughly $33,000 of our general fund cash, or probably maybe even use a TIF capture, I don't know what we do. We get a whole new intersection. So, that thing is just an eyesore right
Yes.
now. So, and this, I think, is really be a gateway to the community. It's kind of nice to have it standing tall,
That's great.
so.
Well, it's nice to hear the new development finally coming, and it's just as you planned, Mr. Carlisle. It's just a little,
Just took them 40
just
years.
took a little bit longer, that's all.
Hey, maybe my work here is done. You never know about it.
Oh, yeah, well, we don't want to see that, Mr. Carlisle. But thank you for the update. How many rooms are in that assisted living place, Kirkle's development?
Oh,
Do you know?
it's,
I thought it was 170, Dick.
Wow. that's-
yeah, I think that's correct. And it's a memory care, it's an assisted living, and it's independent living. It's a 70,000 square foot building, so I think as you all know,
Yes.
in experience, it's pretty substantial.
Yes.
And it's commercial. I mean, it's a commercial tax base. The other thing that we don't often get recognized for or recognize is that, that's not a homestead exempt property. So the big beneficiary of a project like that is going to be the school system.
Right.
Yeah, because they don't get a PRE on any of
And,
that, do they?
that's a development.
Hello?
Yeah.
I think he's frozen in time.
He's buffering.
He said his job was done.
Did I zone out?
Yes, just at the
Yeah,
end.
and your
there.
eyes were open too. We thought you fell asleep there for a second.
No, this is what happens when you live in a third world city like Ann Arbor,
Yeah.
Oh, God, I can already see the hate mail coming.
Well, we've had, as everybody, incredible problems with Comcast trying to keep the internet in working. But anyway, the benefit, what I was saying is the big beneficiaries from these commercial projects are really the school system, because they get the full benefit, without any homestead exemption of this new development. And so that's another, when people say that tax increment financing is a program that maybe is unfair or it doesn't have a good purpose. I mean, think about this. What we have done is generate long-term sustainable tax base for all of the taxing jurisdictions by concentrating on the infrastructure improvements that we have. And we've stuck to our agreement. We've done what we said we're going to do, and now we're seeing the benefit of it.
Yeah, and the county has been very supportive, so thank you, Matt, for
Absolutely.
all your help. All right.
Okay, does anybody have any other questions regarding the financial report or anything?
Yeah, Dick, last year when we met, my impression was the CIA was done, and it was just a matter of paying it off.
Yeah,
And now with all the incremental development, we're able to add the Walden Center Drive project and potentially something else if more development requires it, if there need to be some
Well,
improvements along
It's
the
doubtful
McLaren
that-
property.
yeah, it's doubtful that we will add any more projects, partly because, unless we can interpret it within the scope of the original plan and get the county to agree to it, it will, we won't do that. This particular project was something that we envisioned 5 years ago, but couldn't get approval from the road commission. And, your longevity, we would have had to continue to maintain a CIA, and as long as we were capturing TIF revenue, we have to keep the CIA board intact. And, I'll tell you what, we really appreciate all of you, and particularly some of the folks that have been involved in the very beginning, I think Dale and Bob are among those two, and I think Chip fairly shortly after that. Hanging in there with us. But this, obviously, this will prolong the activity of the CIA for a couple more years, because we're not exactly sure when that light will be installed, and so we'll have to continue to meet and monitor finances. But even going forward, until the bonds are paid off, we are required, to continue to maintain the CIA and all of our obligations and all of our obligations being met.
Which includes these informational meetings.
Correct. So I think the good news about the economic activity, and again, I believe there will be more, is that we probably will be able to end the tenure of the CIA earlier than 2029. But as I told the board, in 2029, it's highly doubtful if I will be before them, having to account for that. But you never know.
Yeah. As long as the economy holds,
Yeah,
right?
You're right about that, Judy.
that's true, as long as the economy holds, but I don't see it, I've talked to a lot of developers and a lot of people in the finance area, and at this point, if it didn't completely blow up on us last year, which it did not, the thing that we have to all remember is even during COVID, during this whole period, development has continued. I mean, we've been busier than, I'll get out, still reviewing new housing projects, some commercial in some areas. So, I'm sure there'll be, some downticks as we go forward, but we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, it's been 10 years about since the last downturn? That's quite a long time.
Right.
Anything else, Mr. Carlisle?
Nope.
Robert?
Okay,
Guess it'd be 6.
yep, request to approve the agreement regarding the interfund loan with the Charter Township of Independence General Fund to the Sashabaw Corridor Improvement Authority. Everybody have a chance to review this?
Yeah, this is very similar to what we did with North Sashabaw, in that, we're gonna pay for the construction work out of our general fund and then repay the general fund with the TIF capture. So this is the intergovernmental agreement that was put together by the Road Commission. It's pretty simple stuff, and although this is subordinate to the bond payoff for North Sashabaw.
Right.
So that's really about it. So, but as part of Township Board, we needed you guys to sign this so that we can then sign it. We've already budgeted the money, and we're good to go.
This is scheduled tentatively, pending action by you, to be on the Township Board on September 7th, for their approval. We essentially informed or teed this up, board at their last meeting, asking for their permission to move forward with such an agreement, which they gave us. And so now we're bringing this to the CIA Board for your approval of this agreement to be submitted to the Township Board.
All right, thank you. Anybody like to entertain a motion to approve this agreement?
I'll make a motion. Dave Smith.
Okay, Dave made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Dale seconds.
Leanna?
Pat Kittle,
Yes.
Chip Robinson,
Yes.
Bob Roth,
Yes?
Dave Smith,
Yes.
Judy Tully,
Yes?
and Dale Bearhay.
Yes.
Okay.
Passes, thank you. Public comment. Any members of the public that would like to speak at this time?
Well, this is about things that do not appear on the agenda, but Miss Joliet, would you care to say anything, or are you okay?
I can, sure, do I? Do you need my name and information?
That would be no.
Oh, Karen Joliet, okay, you're right. Okay. I just want to say thank you for being good financial stewards and pro-development. This is mutually beneficial for Independence Township and the county, and that it's a great improvement to Oakland County, and to drive more people here to increase the tax base. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, ma'am, for all your
Yep.
support. You've been a great add to it. You know, I thought Mr. Middleton had some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
You've done a great job, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any committee member comments?
I would like to say something here. This is my last CIA meeting. I've got 2 days left in the office. My official retirement date will be effective the evening of the 7th. That's why I was kind of anxious to get this going tonight so that we can get this approved as one of my final recommendations to the board. I wanted to thank each and every member of the CAA board for all your hard work and your counsel and advice and yelling and screaming and whenever we try to do something goofy. But the things that this CIA board has done is nothing short of phenomenal. You know, from the boulevard to the intersection to the expressway interchanges to North Sashabaw to what's going to be going here at Walden Center. It truly is a tribute to you and your vision of, I think, of a very great community. So thank you, one and all. It has been an honor to serve.
Well, thank you, and the same goes to you, Mr. Kittle. We certainly would not have attempted this without your help, and certainly appreciate that. And Mr. Carlisle, your financial expertise in this is always appreciated.
Thank you.
Hey, Bob,
Yes.
Chip Robinson here. I just wanted to kind of echo your comments, and, as serving on the board, a member of the board for as long as I have, and I don't remember when I came along. It was shortly after Pat took office. Pat, yourself, Dick, Bob, you guys have all made it easy for us as board members to work through any of the challenges we've had. The leadership has been tremendous, and I just wanted to call that out and thank you for everything you've done.
All right. If there's nothing else to get,
A motion
this
to
is my
adjourn?
favorite part of the meeting
Yeah.
coming right here. I guess there's a motion to adjourn. I'm going to second this one. So, Leanna?
Pat Kittle?
Yes.
Chip Robinson?
Yes.
Bob Ross?
Yes?
Dave Smith?
Yes.
Judy Tully?
Yes?
Dale Verhey?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Bob.
Yep.
I appreciate your leadership.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.